As we get to the ones here on NFL Fantasy Live, where we are searching high and low for the top scorers at every position in fantasy football, we start, as we do, with the quarterbacks. Marcus, who's your QB1?
We're going to go with the guy who's been a candidate to be the QB1 all year long, and that's Jaden Daniels with the Washington Commanders. He has stepped in and been everything we hoped he could be in his rookie season. 4 20-point fantasy games this season. He's got 4 straight contests with 19 or more points, averaging over 9.5 fantasy points per game just as a runner. Also thrown 6 touchdown passes in his last 4. Facing a Carolina defense we have been picking on all season long. 12 touchdown passes allowed, tied for the second most. So whether it is through the air or on the ground, I expect Jaden Daniels to get it done this week.
I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson, who has been great this year. 4 games with at least 23 fantasy points. And one of the things that we've been celebrating is the Buccaneers' offense. But their defense has been very generous to opposing quarterbacks, actually to everybody who plays offense on the other side of the field. The Buccaneers have allowed 4 rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks this season. That's the most in the NFL. But you know what? Lamar Jackson has shown over the last couple of weeks how great he is at throwing the football. He has had at least 300 passing yards in back-to-back games. I say he makes it a third.
I'll go to the running back 1 position, and I think it's Bijan Robinson this week, who had his most touches since week 1 and is playing a Seahawks team that's given up the 3rd most rushing yards per game. Maybe some back-and-forth opportunity here as the Falcons, like Rank mentioned, with the Baltimore Ravens, have been in a few score fests as of late. And if you're worried about Tyler Algier, I don't know just how worried you should be, because Bijan has the 7th highest percentage of team carries among running backs in the league. I think it's a nice week for Bijan.
I think it's going to be a nice week for Bijan. I also think it's going to be a nice week for J.K. Dobbins. Now you have to wait till the end of the week on Monday Night Football to see this happening. But look, I think a lot of people have been waiting for the other shoe to drop and something bad to happen to J.K. Dobbins. But here it is. We're into week 7. He continues to be effective. He's stayed healthy. So I think we at least got to start believing that this is who he's going to be all year long. The Chargers, the 3rd most run-heavy offense in the NFL, going against an Arizona defense ranked 30th against the run that's giving up 8 rushing touchdowns. We know Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman want to run it, and J.K. Dobbins has done a very great job so far.
They love the run game. Let's get to some wide receivers in the passing game, right?
Let's talk about Jamar Chase, because when he was coming out of college, his rookie season, everybody thought he forgot how to play football because he made one offhanded comment about the stripe not being on the ball. His fantasy draft stock plummeted. This year, during his hold-in, people again were like, I don't know if I want Jamar Chase. He might forget how to play football in the 3 weeks that he's taken off. Apparently, those fears were unfulfilled, because Jamar Chase is currently the #1 wide receiver in all of fantasy football. And this week, he has got the Cleveland Browns, where the fire sale has already started. Amari Cooper on his way out of town. Can we get Myles Garrett to Chicago? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. If we're thinking of ideas, if we're thinking of possible trades, I would love like the Browns now. Such a great defense last year, but now this is a team that you want to go out and target in fantasy.
I will take another one of Jamar Chase's teammates from that national championship squad. It's Justin Jefferson going up against the Lions, giving up the 4th most points to wideouts this season. His career, Justin Jefferson averages 23 against the Lions. Is it chalky? Yes. But it's one of the best players in football. We can't do a fantasy show without talking. Yeah. Oh, I'm starting Justin Jefferson no matter what. Yes. And it's cool to show video of him because he's a really good player. On to tight ends, Marcus.
Well, let's talk some Brock Bowers, shall we? Because in a world where we have been looking for tight end production, which, by the way, is starting to get better, Brock Bowers has been one of those guys that has been solid each and every week. He's currently the tight end 2 overall, at least 8 targets and double-digit PPR points in 4 of 6 games. And now might even see more targets now that Devonte Adams, well, I guess Devonte Adams has been out for a couple of weeks, but now that we know he's officially on his way to New York, Brock Bowers becomes maybe the top pass catcher in this offense, going against the Rams defense that has struggled defensively, but especially against tight ends, giving up 15.5 yards per catch to the position this year.
The only tight end I would start over Brock Bowers would be George Kittle. He's had 3 games with at least 20 fantasy points this season, 5 receiving touchdowns in his last 4 games. He's the red zone guy. He's the George Kittle that we've all known and loved. He's re-established himself as a main event player, the guy who could possibly win a Royal Rumble and still win a Super Bowl in the same year. I want that to happen for him at some point. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, how well they've played defensively, it's been impressive. It's been one of the reasons why the Chiefs have been so good over the past couple of weeks and actually over last season. But They give up so much production to the tight ends. That's why we're starting. I mean, we're starting Kittle anyways, but this is why he's the number one guy.
Yeah, absolute bottom of the league in that particular category. We feel great about all those spots, but some spots, including guys that you took very early in your draft, haven't been having great starts to their season. But does that mean it's time to panic? We'll find out when we come back on NFL Fantasy Live.